Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Hope you guys been enjoying the content on the channel as of late. Excuse some of the noise that you might hear during the video, like if you hear windows like clapping and stuff like that. It's because I have the windows out, or the windows open, because unfortunately our family caught COVID again. So we're back in lockdown mode again. Yay. Um, and because of that, some of the videos that I had planned, I am pushing back. So yeah, but I'm gonna make it up for you guys with doing different videos because I told you guys that we're gonna be doing like a ton of movie reviews. We still have like I did three, and by the time you watch this video, you would have seen those three. So um, and there are some movies coming out soon on streaming that I am looking forward to. So we will be doing reviews on those when they appear also. But in the meantime, figured let's just do some other topic related stuff. And this is kind of like a part two to the last review that I did, which was for the Woman King. Which, if you saw my review for the Woman King, you would know that I did not like that movie. It was not my personal cup of tea. Uh, yeah, so you can go see that review for yourself if you want to see what the issues I had with the film were. Um, but um, I did some research on the Woman King just to see what people's thoughts were on it, and um, I stumbled upon like a strange backlash that was going on for the film. I had no idea there was backlash for it. Apparently on Twitter, which Twitter is that place where just a bunch of trolls, a bunch of this and that, a bunch of haters and stuff, assholes. I don't go on Twitter, so and I've heard Twitter's just a shitstorm essentially. Um, for some reason, a lot of people were telling people online, particularly Twitter, to boycott The Woman King because the movie was inaccurate in its depictions because it's based on a historical event or based on actual history. Um, and this to me brings up a good topic for today, about accuracy, representation, all this sort of stuff. I had a conversation like this with a friend of mine last year. Uh, uh, yeah, Chris Kathman was his name. Um, we were working on a short film together, and we got into an exchange in regards to accuracy and stuff. Um, I'm not sure what started it. Probably a film at the time that was having another, a similar type of like backlash, Um, but we got into a conversation about, like accuracies and representation and all that sort of stuff. And funny enough, he's actually was was majoring as a historian. So, there was like a particular perspective that he was giving me. Um, which was that he was like, well, we should be respecting more of the history and, having to, um, be more authentic and, represent these ideas much more, uh, uh, much more respectfully, Um, to which I said, I understood where he was coming from. Um, and it's not a bad, thing to say. Um, but that's just not how film works. Um, so, um, because to me it's pretty simple. I mean, what you are watching is an adaptation. We throw the word adaptation to like movies based off of books or well, like certain novels, um, or certain literature or whatever. That also applies to true stories as well. That's why it says in the posters, based on a true story, because what you are watching is a adaptation. Um, they're taking a piece that um, they're taking something and they are adapting it to the big screen. I mean, that's literally what it is, you know. Um, but I mean, that's like the literal thing about it. But to get deeper into it, I mean, um, uh, what you're also watching is a perspective. you know? Um, because who is to say that there is a I mean, there are the facts, but who is to say that that is the right way of viewing it? You know what I mean? Like, I've lived in Carlsbad for 20 years, right? So you may say that I'm actually a very good person to ask about Carlsbad in general. And, I can tell you a few things about Carlsbad, but then you can go talk to someone else who has the same experience as I do, or, a different person in general, and they might have a completely different take on it. And it's not that anything I said was false per se, but it's to say that what I say is not going to be what everybody else says, because they have their own ideas and their own perspective, you know. So, um, so that's what you're watching on screen. Also, is a perspective, a storyteller's perspective on things. Um, so like it might be factual, and perhaps some of it might not be fully truthful, but what they're presenting is a perspective. That's what it is. They're not sitting there and saying, oh, this is the authentic, legitimate story. Like, you know I mean, for one thing, it's a movie, so how could it's not going to be legitimate at all. I get the arguments being made, like they want the best representation possible for said story, but um, the best representation of said story would not be in a movie. I mean, it would be in a documentary or something. Even then, that'd be about the filmmaker's perspective, because at least then you're using real footage and you're seeing it for what it is. But the context, that's what I'm saying. It's all about the filmmaker's perspective. So, um, like, it's funny to me when people bring this stuff up when it comes to like movies like this, or movies that are based on real events. They're always like, well, why can't they just be more accurate um, to the actual event? Um, it's like I said, it's because it's a perspective. It's someone else's perspective on things. It's also an adaptation. It's like, look at it as books. Like, do you expect a filmmaker to adapt all 300 pages of a book? No. You expect them to hit certain things, right? But like, famously, like, look at The Shining, right? Stephen King hates The Shining because it doesn't represent the book well. And The Shining is one of my favorite films of all time. And it's not because it adapted the book well, it's because it's a damn good movie. Um, so, like, I don't think that the issue is adapting the material. I think that the issue is, are the people make adapting the work creating good work. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much they adapt it. Again, it doesn't matter if they adapt all 300 pages or just read the first 10 pages. It doesn't matter. What matters is that, are they making a good movie? Do we get a good movie at the end of the day? And The Shining is one of my favorite movies of all time. And that movie, from what I've heard, I haven't read The Shining, but I've heard that that is not a good representation of what the book is. Um, but I love that movie. Um, so also, unpopular thing to say, but it's true. We're talking about entertainment here. Some events on paper are just boring. They're just boring to read. Okay? Like, if you talk about like a political thing, or if you talk about this or that, um, or if you like trying to adapt a certain event, um, like Sully, for instance. Like, Sully is very inaccurate. Sully Suddenberg would tell you that that movie is inaccurate, and it didn't go as down as it portrays itself. Um, and the reason why the movie does what it does is because even Clint Eastwood looks at the event of Sully Suddenberg and says, "I still want to talk about this man's story, but I also want to make a movie. I want to be able to entertain. I want to be able to have some kind of story, some drama at play, because sometimes the real event is just pretty flat. You know, there's not all like sometimes, like, the events that are adapted onto screen. Like, have you ever heard the word dramatize? Like, that's just That's what they do in Hollywood. They dramatize everything, you know. They don't they never strive for an authentic feeling, because the authentic feeling would just be pretty flat, pretty boring, pretty emotionless, you know. Um, like that's the real world, right? Um, some things lend itself better than others, but a lot of cases it's just, like like it would just be kind of boring. So Hollywood it goes for a dramatized version because it's more appealing, it's more entertaining, and it will probably get more money, make more money. Um, so that's like the business side of things. But from the artistic side of things, the artist, I've said this before, the artist does not owe anybody an explanation for their art. They don't. They also don't have to abide to any kind of rules, at least what I believe true artists to be. I know the business side of things, it's different, but I'm just speaking from an artistic point of view. Um, like, you shouldn't be bound by anything. Again, you can just read 10 pages of a book and then you just go ahead and adapt it. That to me is completely fine, as long as I'm getting a really good movie at the end of it. I don't care, like, oh, they're claiming it to be this, but it's not really this because they didn't read all this or they didn't showcase this. I don't care. I really don't care. I want to just see a really good movie. Like the new It that came out, right? I really liked it. I really liked it. I really liked it. Um, I thought it was fun. I thought it was adventurous. I thought it was at some points legitimately, tense. Um, but and also talking about it, like addressing again accuracies. There's also some things when it comes to adapting material. There's just some stuff that we just need to, you know, go away from. Like, does anybody really want to see in the It movie a child orgy? Does anyone here want to see that? I'm not really keen on seeing that, not really much of a pedophile, so um, you know, um, there's just some things that there's some things that are left on the page, versus being showcased on screen, So that's another thing too. Um, but accuracy has never really mattered in storytelling because it's all about perspective. It's all about um, adapting. It's adapting what the person liked, basically. It's not about, adapting the book or the event to a T or anything like that. It's about adapting one or two aspects that the storyteller really, really liked and they want to showcase and represent on screen, you know? So that's kind of how it's done. And Hollywood's always going to dramatize it. So if people are always like, you know, get upset because the movies are not like, that's not how it really felt when the events happened. It's like the real world is very different from movies, so you can't compare the two. It's just silly, you know. It's just it's like trying to think of an example. It's like comparing um it's like comparing A Quiet Place to um to Up. They're just two very different things, and you can't really compare the two. It's just one of them is in the vein of animation, while the other is in the vein of live action, while others in the vein of emotions, one's in the vein of horror. Like, they're just two very different things, you know. So yeah, it's kind of a silly little debate that always goes on. It's like, should we be accurate? Should we be authentic? I always say strive for authenticity. I always do, but I say authenticity within the story that you are crafting. I'm not saying that you need to look at something and say, oh, well, I got to make sure I hit this, 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 this. No, you tell the story you want to tell, but represent it in an authentic way where I can actually feel something, That's what I mean when I say strive for authenticity. I don't mean like here's a 300-page book, or here's the It book, which was what, like 500 pages. Make sure you get every page. No, I'm just saying, look, make your movie, but make sure I can feel something while I'm watching it. I don't want to feel like I'm just dozing off or whatever, you know? So, um, so yeah. So accuracy never has mattered in storytelling. It's never, like I'm pretty sure with the Harvey Weinstein film that's coming out, she said, I'm pretty sure that's gonna get a lot of backlash. I can already see it. There's gonna be articles about it. There's gonna be this and that. Because I'm pretty sure that the way that they're going to represent it, it's in the trailer. The way I've seen it, it's dramatized. It's gonna be this and that. They're gonna be looking for a certain angle, a certain agenda, a certain thing. But again, that's all a perspective. That's all it is. It's all it is. It's a perspective from the storyteller, and they're just adapting the parts that they find the most interesting. Now that doesn't mean you have to like it. Okay, I did not like the Woman King because of that perspective. I think that perspective is very narcissistic and very ignorant. Um, but at least it is theirs, you know. At least it's theirs. Um, it's not like, uh, it's like, well, I just copied and paste from the book or whatever. It's like if that's your perspective and that's how you wish to represent it, then that's hey, good. But I'm allowed to have an opinion on it too. So, um, but yeah, you guys let me know. Do you guys think that movie should be more accurate, or do you think what I think, which is that just Hollywood's never actually been truthful in their storytelling? They just adapt what they like, aspects of what they like, and through that they're going to dramatize it because it's more entertaining and it's more appealing to audience members. That's just my view. But you guys let me know. And yeah, that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Uh, like I said, I'm in lockdown right now, so I will try to do more videos. I'll try to think of more stuff to do. Hopefully we'll be out of here maybe in like a week. Who knows? Um, we'll see. But thank you guys for watching, and we'll see what the future holds. We'll see what other videos I can think of. And if you guys have any topics for me or anything, let me know. And of course, if anything pops up that I find interesting, we will talk about it on this channel. But that's it for this video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm gonna get some water because my throat's a little dry. Hopefully not COVID related. But but thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Be safe out there. Wear your mask. Wash your hands. Do all that. Because sitting in lockdown sucks. So, yep. Hopefully by the end of this week. Or hopefully by the end of next week, I think. Yeah. So, yeah. So thank you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video.